I'm American, and we have short talks today, and I don't have any friends in Ljubljana, so if anybody, if you want to talk about art, I'll give you my phone number after the talk, and you can contact me. So we're going to keep it pretty focused, talking about this sense of fractured identity in virtual world, fractured self, and this kind of reconstructed history, or constructed history, let's say. And when I begin an artist talk, I collect documentation of artist talks. So I wonder, someone, would you mind to take the picture? But no, like from the back, but make it look like there's a lot of people. Like maybe if you come down from the back, like maybe lean forward a little, like you're interested in something I'm saying. How does it look? I'm asking the photographer how the photo looks. Of photographic documentation. I'm interested in this, like, did we just create a fabrication? Like, was that a lie to make a photograph like that? Because it's still representing the same amount of people that are here. So, I don't know if anybody is familiar with the project that I'm exhibiting through this festival. There's an opening this evening, and it relates to a project that I've worked on for the past 2 years. And it's a virtual performance art intervention on Facebook. And the work is produced collectively, I should say. And so this is an example of, if those of you use Facebook, you post photos, and basically through the project we infiltrate your social network and change your photos and create this virtual body. So in the person's original photo it was this landscape with the dog, and then we insert this virtual persona. So part of what I'm interested in is this sense of fractured self in virtual space, that we automatically become something else when we are virtual, when we're writing an email or talking on the phone, or represented on Facebook, that it's, it's not me. It's not you that's, it's like a part of us that's expressed through this virtual space. And what really interests me, like a lot of media theory, the way I understand it, is criticism of the latest technological advancement. And I'm much more like I want to push boundaries of those advancements rather than criticize them, maybe. So so exploring virtual space in terms of these fractured identities. And for the case of this talk, when I talk about identity, I mean like these kind of labels that are thrust on us, like gender and nationality and ethnicity and race and like station in life. Like we have to carry these labels, and that it's stressful. It's stressful to be our types. sometimes. And it's stressful to have to play out all those things, gender, class, age. And so we need some outlet for this stress. And through this work, I have, for 20 years, I've done work with persona, or like this kind of fractured self. It's like I'm not acting when I go into these characters. It's a part of me that I don't normally show to you in the public. Like, there's many of those parts. And but there are negative consequences, I find, for like not acting my type all the time. Like, to be consistent, like when you go to work, you're expected to sort of be the same person every day. Like, that's reliable. And if you wear something maybe differently than dress differently than how you normally do at work, like, you know, it's like, well, what's with you? Like, you know, like, or if you're like a man and wear a dress, like, gender confusion is really stressful to people. When people don't act their gender, when people don't perform their gender, it is really upsetting to some people. They kill each other over it. So that this identity thing is, for me, a stress, and I think, well, maybe it is within my culture also. And that art is sort of this positive outlet for dealing with this identity stress. And people have said to me, like, you have split personality, or you're schizophrenic, because the difference between how they know me and how they see, like, in a performance like this seems extreme. And it's not exactly schizophrenia. Like, schizophrenia, first of all, is like, it's not voluntary, you know, and like, this is, and there's hallucinations and whatnot. So it's kind of different. And then, like, split personality, some people think it's caused by this, like, trauma in early life, life-threatening trauma, and the personality fractures itself as a way to cope with this trauma. So yeah, so I'm looking at art and the fractured self as a way of coping with this trauma caused by culture. Not quite the same as split personality, but there's some connections maybe. And that these labels that are put on us are like, they're these tools of power and control. They're like this emphasis on nationality and race and ethnicity is a way to sort of keep us in our places, who we're supposed to be, and to sort of respect the order of power and control and whatnot. And so in virtual space, there's sort of this freedom, like, you can transcend this identity. You can be a different age and your nationality, and like, you just fill in whatever, like on Facebook, and, you know, I can be from wherever, and it's interesting. But I always believe, like, when I look at Facebook, that it's that everybody's kind of doing that. Everybody's really constructing something, how people represent themselves. Like, nobody puts up on Facebook like I'm selfish, or I spent the whole day on the couch watching television. It tends to be these really, like, positive, smart, like, showing oneself in this particular way, and this kind of fractured self, this kind of invented self. And so this is kind of the theoretical, and I'll just talk about 5 minutes more about the object and whatnot. You know, so I was really interested in these kinds of images. I've seen, and I don't mean to pick on the Soviets, you know, but because I've seen this kind of thing in American historical documents too, but they were really overt and really great. Like what, I forget this guy's name, Yetsov or something, but man, he's just out of there. So, and this is before Photoshop, and so like this idea that we that history is constructed, you know. I grew up in this way, in this kind of postmodern way, and I never really cared what was true. Like if you told me a story, I didn't care if it was true or not. I just wondered why you told me that story, you know, like that's more important to me. And the spectacle, that they're like, I believe the spectacle, you know, I believe the image. And was producing a lot of live art, and in the end I thought, I really only care about the documentation in the end, like what the picture looks like. And in this project I'll describe, it's sort of skipping the live performance part and just going ahead to the documentation. Okay, so I explained the project. Basically, we move through social networks, we infiltrate different images using digital imaging, and create this virtual body who lives only on Facebook. And the images take different forms. There's this body of Tuxita, and he's also represented by this like Venus of Willendorf figure, wearing a stocking cap and headphones. And in this case, do you have that cut out? This is him, and so he becomes like a cartoon character or a symbol. He's a symbol in this theoretical sense, a sign, and we go for this kind of virtual infiltration of the photo to make the object appear as real as possible in this space, sort of questioning what's real. So the actual production work is very, we'd say, interdisciplinary. There is photography involved, in a really a kind of backward photography where with the shooting the body, for instance, recreating perspective, light, duplicating camera angle. These are all kinds of the concerns, and a really different way to shoot a photograph, kind of backward way to take a photograph. And then this process of digital imaging, and then this interface with Facebook, and then this level of interaction between the people in the project, the some 150 friends that are in the project, and the authors. So the last, I'm just going to talk a few more minutes about anonymity and collective authorship. So the reason I moved to Estonia was I was invited by a artist collective and to run an alternative art school called Academia Non Grata. And one of the things that had interested me about this collective is they had a manifesto that related to collective authorship and anonymity of the artist within the work. And it really challenged how I had been trained as an artist. And that anonymity was appealing to me in the same way fracturing self was. Like that this anonymous side of me was very liberated from these kinds of titles, brands, descriptions that I talked about that I carry with me. So I was interested in anonymity, and I was interested in collective authorship because contemporary art schools teach or have this culture of sort of this, the individual genius. Like it's considered a bad thing to share ideas among students in an art school. Like if you walk through the painting studios, they could be side by side, and there's not going to be like much dialogue. Like there'll be somebody doing like their wallpaper thing and somebody doing their portrait thing, and like all really different, and it's really like important. This concept that your ideas are your own, and whose idea is it? And like, what if we put that aside? Because I don't really think it's honest, and it relates kind of to this open source virtual culture. Like if we're open source about our ideas, if we share our ideas, and how to do that ethically. And yeah, I was really interested to work with this collective, and like never trust artists who have a manifesto. But the concept was interesting, and within this project, there's anonymity of authorship. In other words, now I'm standing here talking to you, so it's so it's a bit of breach of the manifesto, or the dogma associated with it. But we give lectures about it. We do it, and but within the project, the authors are anonymous, and that the work is collective. That the ideas for this project came from a collective of people, and so while I'm really proud of the work that's associated with this project, and to be here as a representative, like that the authorship is absolutely collective, and there's a list of names associated with the authors of Tuxita. So I hope you come to the exhibition this evening, and we could talk more and get drunk and talk about the art. And it's maybe Blaj, you can give the address. Like, could you right now just say the address? Everybody knows. You all know where Lorenka's flat is. No.
Gosposka 3. I think it's Gosposka 3, Blaž? Yes. It is.
It's in the propaganda. Okay, well, thank you for coming, and thank you for listening, and who's next?